Yes.
Welcome to the Love Below, you guys. It's Chronicles. Still can't keep this pushing till this pandemic is over. I have with
Yo,
me Lawrence Killebrew. What's up,
what's
Lawrence?
up? What's up? What's up from Philadelphia? What's up?
What's up? That's one of Philly's best right there.
Yes, yes, one of the best all time. You know what I mean? What? I'm talking my shit. Yes.
Ain't no wrong with that. Look, the pandemic ain't do nothing about your ego.
No, I ain't never gonna stop this, man. I was somebody before I was doing this. I'm gonna be somebody after.
So going through this quarantine, there's been a lot
Mm.
of changes, especially in entertainment, especially with comedy. Have you felt it more so in a negative way or a positive way as far as your comedy is concerned?
Um, in the beginning, I was kind of like tripping, definitely negative because I'm the type of person who likes to be in motion to
Mm.
create. I'm not a person, excuse me, I'm sorry. I'm not a person who sits down and can just create that way and just think and write. Like I have to be in motion, I have to be active, I have to be doing stuff, and that's how I create. So in that aspect, it's definitely been, not as well off as I would like because I don't feel creative, you know. But on the flip side, I've been able to get a lot done, man. Just reboot my website, start other entities, with my online stuff. Created a merch store, just like technical stuff that I never was able to tackle prior to me, being on the road. Now,
Mm.
I'm sitting down and trying to get some residual income outside of me being creative.
Okay, so what
So,
merchandise you pushing over there? What you got for the people?
oh, I got my comedy hustle brand, and I was able to do a joint venture with a website called Spreadshirt.com, where basically, they create everything from hats, mouse pads, sweatshirts, t-shirts, baby clothes, like whatever, and
Hmm.
then they'll plaster your brand all over this stuff, and basically, you order from there and they ship it out for you, and we just split the profits. So it's kind of like it's a where I don't have to be in contact and I have to go pick up shirts
Hmm.
and do that. They do everything for you, and
Okay.
y'all just split whatever y'all gonna do and stuff like that. It's actually a very good site, actually good quality from the people who have received merchandise and they have hit me up and let me know. So yeah, it's definitely good.
I'm just saying I could use a comedy hustle
Oh, I
t-shirt.
got you, man.
You know
Just
what I'm saying?
text
I'm
me your
hustling out
address.
here in these comedy streets too, goddamn.
Text me your address and your t-shirt size. I'll definitely send you a t-shirt.
Oh, no doubt. Look, I appreciate that. So, you guys, I had actually interviewed Lawrence once before, and that interview didn't get out. So, this is our round two. This is our
Right? We
round
back.
two pop off.
We back again. I'm in the building, back to back like MJ. What's up?
So, everybody has kind of felt um, a little, let me think of the best way to word this, you guys. Some people out here dry as a motherfucker because of this coronavirus. You know what I'm saying? People can't get to their significant others. People aren't in
Mm,
relationships, this, that, and the third. So it's been a lot of change in the mindset as far as sex is concerned, whether it
mm,
be what level of priority we put it in our lives or the importance of it. Um, choosing health over sex, things of that nature. Have you had any hindrance to your sex life due to the coronavirus?
Um, yes. To be honest, I haven't turned down this much new pussy in a long time. Like, I was,
Oh,
I
shit.
was, I was surprised, that people would, that I've had people make advances towards me, and I was like, nah, I'm good. Like, I'm straight. I don't need none of that right now. Like, if I don't know where you been at, I don't even want to touch you. So, yeah, I mean, it hasn't. I was never really that. I was more so prior to the pandemic. I didn't have that many partners anyway
Mhm.
for it to be that many new people. So I don't think I would gain a whole bunch of them now that we're in a pandemic. I definitely have been getting a lot of old flames or old acquaintances hitting me up, but that's more so for conversation. I don't really think they were making advances towards it. So it was more so conversation and stuff like that. So no, I mean,
So
I
what
was
you
never
saying
really.
is you got chicks out here willing to risk their life for the D, is what you're saying. That's what I heard.
I, I wouldn't say
I
that. I mean,
heard
because
they don't even know
they,
good or not yet because they knew to it. They don't even know yet. They just, I'm going to
yeah,
risk the 50-50 chance, but I got to take the risk.
yeah, they gonna be disappointed. They gonna be disappointed. So I ain't even mad at them. You know what I mean? You want to take that risk if you want, whatever.
So I can imagine that for a man that might be at times a hard decision to make. Um, Choosing, let me put my health, my well-being, my whatever in front of, what could be very, very tempting. Um, a lot of
No, it
people
ain't
in
not
general,
for
not
me.
just
Not for me.
some dudes. And okay, let me take that back. I'm
Oh,
gonna say some people
there
because
you go.
um women too, we have the same level of desire. We want the same things. And just as easily as we would risk the coronavirus, there's plenty of dudes who would risk the coronavirus to, it's fair exchange, no robbery. But it's very
Can I
insensitive
ask you a question? Can I ask you a question?
by all means.
Because what you just said is that you said both men and women have the same desires, right?
That is my personal opinion, yes, sir.
Oh, because I don't really see women acting like that. You know, most of
Acting
them
like
act
what?
like that they have that desire for it.
They,
You know,
they front.
I see them. Are
They
they front? Okay. Well, then you go. I just wanted to know. I just wanted to
No,
know. Cause
I'm saying they front, and
okay,
it's not a negative front. Okay, don't get me wrong.
okay.
I get that women are precious.
Mm,
Her vaginas are supposed to be sacred, and
mm,
you wait your whole Steve Harvey 90 days, and
mm.
I get
Won't he do it?
I get it, but to take those things because say a woman may choose to wait to engage with a person because they want to be shown of some value either to them or to themselves, whatever the case may be, prior to whether it's emotional, mental, whatever the case may be. I don't
Hmm.
think that takes away from the fact that that woman still has desires. I don't take it, it doesn't take anything away from the fact that first off, when we meet you, we know whether or not we want to fuck you. That's off the break.
Mm,
Is we meet,
okay.
we see you, we up you down. Okay, you fuckable, not fuckable. We've got that already up here. Whether or not you fuck it up along the way, or whether or not I feel like you're worthy after you open your
Oh,
mouth, is maybe
worthy.
is maybe is maybe where the disconnect is. But I don't think that takes anything away from natural female desire. We see men, we size you guys up the same way men
Mm,
look at women and then say, oh, she got a fat ass, oh, she got nice titties. When I see a dude, I'm a sucker for a few things. First off, a shape up, a nice ass. Don't come around me, no pretty motherfucking teeth, calves. Like what? Boy, please. Like we size you guys up too, and we check
mm,
you all out. So we could be thinking about it. Damn, I don't take this nigga home and do X, Y, and Z. We have those same thought processes. It's just
okay.
maybe some women have more restraint, and I don't think it's anything wrong with a woman who acts or who behaves in a way with less restraint. If you want some, go ahead and forget some. But
Mm,
I think the reality of it is the desires are equal. How it's conveyed is maybe where the difference is. How it's
okay.
expressed and how quickly it may be acted upon might be where the difference is. But 9 times out of 10, if you guys go after a woman and say you want to hit, that's your goal. If you're successful, guess what? She wanted to fuck you too. You know
Mm,
what I'm saying?
okay. So rather than me getting it, she gave it to me. That's what you trying to say.
Just saying it's a fair exchange, no robbery.
Okay.
That's
I
what I'm
got you, man. That's all I want.
saying.
I got you,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And it's so much negative stigma that comes with a woman desiring a man, or a woman being aggressive, or whatever the case may be. If she wants to pursue a sexual situation with a guy, it's so much negative connotation that comes with that. You're a hoe, you're a thought. I was just talking to Slink Johnson, and it was he said they party favors. It's all these
yeah.
negative terms, but why isn't it sexual liberation? Why isn't it sexual equality? Why isn't it that, dude, I don't want you to be my husband. I don't even want you to be my boyfriend. I just want to fuck you real fast and send you home. You know,
Mm.
why can't that be evil? I mean, not evil, but a level playing field. But we getting off. We ain't talking about me and my personal opinion right now.
Okay, I
Listen,
got you.
if you get me started, I won't shut up.
I see.
We're talking about you today. Hi, Lauren.
Hey, I'm back. I'm here. I'm good. No, I was listening to you. You was letting it go, baby.
I'm sorry. I get like that sometimes, you guys.
No
I get
problem at all, man.
sometimes,
I'm
you
not
guys.
even mad at you one bit.
So you said that women don't have the same desires. Please explain your point.
No, it's not that I don't think they have the same desires. I'm pretty sure they do. I just don't see. Like, I would love more women to be as open with it and be just straightforward. Like, I like aggression. I like those type of women who put it out there. Look, this is exactly what I want. So there's no up in the air. Like, this is what I want. Give it to me like this, or I'm gonna find somebody that is. So yeah, I mean, I'm cool with that. I don't mind it. I think that's a great trait to have because y'all always want us to be as open and upfront. So you be the same. Stop being nonchalant and trying to make me make the decision for you. Make it for yourself. Just be upfront with it. That's how I look. That's the type of person I'm very attracted to. Who
But
can give
can
that.
I offer that it might not be so much as a woman trying to get you to make the decision for her. It's what you display along the way that either seals the deal or breaks the deal. You know what I mean?
Okay.
We don't need you to make the decision. To be honest, like I said, most women know off rip what we want and how far we're willing to go with you. It's whether or not your actions and your words match along the way that seals the deal. When one or the other may be off, then you know what I mean? Flag on the play. You know, fuck that for a second.
That could be my problem because I definitely would say one thing and do another. So I'm
You can't
definitely
be like
about
that out
that.
here in these streets.
Hey man, I'm being honest. That's all I can do is be honest. And in the beginning, I could say and do the right things, but then after a while, I might get bored, and I'll just say the right things and do the wrong. So, well, I've done that in the past, not recently, but in the past.
It's okay though, because right now is definitely a time of reflection. Right now,
Mm,
definitely a time of, you know, not necessarily analyzing our flaws. We're human, but hey, is this something that I can improve upon? Is this something I can be better, do better? Not just in comedy, not just in sex lives, maybe just in the way that I carry myself in general. You know, small things sometimes make a big change in a person in how communication is processed and how things are
mm.
conveyed. You
I
know,
hear you, girl. You
I mean, put
speaking it
on your
today.
big boy drawers and come out this corona thing on a good
Look
night.
at you speaking the word. Look at you. I see you over there.
You've been doing this fantastic relationship hour, which I have enjoyed. I've enjoyed the conversations, I've enjoyed the topics, but you're giving a lot of advice out here to these women. So, what would be your best sex advice for the women?
Um, to like I said, be straight up. I felt like in the past I've learned from previous experiences that our sex life wasn't as exciting because neither one of us was being straight up. It was things I liked that I was afraid to say. It was things that I wasn't doing that she was afraid to tell me. So I feel the best is just to say exactly what you want. And don't be afraid to instruct. Don't be afraid to say this is how you get me to that point. Of course, someone might think it might bruise the person's ego, but I mean, look, man, I'm trying to get a nut off the right way. So tell
Mm-hmm.
me exactly what it is. So I mean, the best advice I can give is like I said, just to be straight up and say exactly what it is that you want to do, how you want it, how you like it, and you know, then I think everything will be okay. And if either person's ego is bruised, then man up. Stop, man up. Either the woman or the man up. As
Mm-hmm.
a relationship, y'all supposed to be together. Y'all supposed to be able to talk. So you have to be able to talk. So if it's going to hurt your ego in the long run, would you rather not be with the person or have her go deal with somebody else or him rather than tell him exactly what you want? So that's what it is. That's the best advice I can ever give anybody.
And that is big. Communication is huge. And communication plays a part in the sexual relationship, whether or not it is one night stand, it is fuck buddy, it's girlfriend, wife, whatever the case may be. First, with the communication piece is being secure with your sexual self. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And when I say that, I mean just being okay with the shit that you like. With first, you got to know what you like. You know what I'm saying? And people sometimes don't take that much time to really explore that. But then once you figure that shit out and being okay with it with you first makes it easier to then convey that to another person. It gives you a little bit more confidence in explaining or having that communication or having those discussions leading up to say, hey, you know, this is what I'm like, this is what I'm into. You know, you could take me as I am, or, you know, you have the option to not, but communication is big. And a lot of people are not having that conversation. A lot of people aren't talking about what they like. And then there's a large number of people who don't even know what they like. They haven't explored their own bodies. They haven't done any research. They haven't read any books. They don't, you know, really dive in because they're not totally secure. So security is big in communication.
Definitely.
Huge, you know what I mean? And
Right, but
trying
you know,
to.
sometimes you don't even have to even say what you like. Just say what you don't like. Just like tell him to stop or her to stop doing that. And
Mhm.
then I think, you know, at some point, if you don't feel wrong telling a person, you know, hey, this is how I like it. You know, you might feel uncomfortable, but you shouldn't feel uncomfortable saying, hey, I don't like that at all.
Mhm.
Then that person will pretty much get, okay, I'm gonna stop doing this. Let me try this. And by the time you keep telling somebody what they don't like, they're gonna ask, all right, look, what the fuck is it that you like? Okay, you
God
don't
damn
like this, you don't like that. What is? Just tell me so I can get to straight to that and then stop exploring, trying to find out. So you don't even gotta be at that point. Just go about it a different way. Just keep saying what you don't like. And they'll get irritated enough, and I'm pretty sure they'll ask you themselves.
Most definitely. Is there anything that you think you're going to do differently after the quarantine, either with your comedy or how you approach your sex life?
Yeah, I'm really going to take my time. You know, I realize now that I don't need it, you know, necessarily. Even with comedy, like I realized a lot of stuff that I don't need. You know, one thing I've learned from this quarantine is really showing me what I need and don't. You know, how much wasted time I was spending on stuff. You know, I remember vividly March 13th. My last show was March 14th. And
Mhm.
March 13th, I was sitting there going through my calendar, you know, looking at my dates, blah, blah, blah. And I noticed that I didn't have any show. Well, I had two shows in May. And I'm used to being booked every single weekend. So when I noticed that I didn't have it, I was just like having a panic attack. Like, what am I going to do? I'm not going to be able to pay bills. I'm not going to be able to do this and do that. And literally, I haven't worked for about 2 months, and I'm okay. I've budgeted. You know, I learned how to, you know, put money here, put money there, not spend it on dumb shit. I realized I was spending a lot of my money just being outside, driving around, filling my tank up all the time, going to the mall, going out to eat, like all those things I was doing that was money that was being, I'm not gonna say wasted because I had a good time, but
Right, right.
it was unnecessary. It's like it
Mhm.
was things that I didn't need to do. So now with this time, you know, that I've had, you know, even when it comes to relationships, like take my time. Like I don't need to rush. Like,
Mhm.
I don't need to rush into one or to rush to time to get the draws, you know. Take
Mhm.
my time. You know what I mean? I've been going this long without even having the contact.
Mhm.
So, you know, it's not nothing that I'm really concerned about. You know, I mean, as in, you know, I take my time is probably what I've learned the most from this whole quarantine, and that I can relax. Like I don't have to be on go
Mhm.
24/7. So yeah.
I can imagine it's very freeing, you know what I mean, to feel like that.
Yeah, I mean, if I ain't gonna front, it was hard in the beginning. You know, I was very frustrated in the beginning because I was so used to just going to a show, being on the road. It was very frustrating. It's even frustrating now, just, you know, it's still frustrating not working. You
Right.
know, like it's frustrating because for me, like I am a person who's always on the go. So
Mhm.
now it's like, I just get up. You know what I mean? I don't have nothing to do really, nothing of I don't want to say I don't have nothing to do, because I find things to do, but not the things I want to do. Like, I want to be out. I want to be on the road. I want to be telling jokes. And then I'll be able to incorporate all that I've learned doing what I used to do. So just getting up, working out, writing. I've been writing a book lately. Just it's just yeah, it's just being in the house is really just not like, literally I know what I'm going to be doing tomorrow. Like, it's just, I don't know. It's a little frustrating, but I'm handling it better more and more as it goes on.
Okay, so I definitely believe that your writing is probably going to be the biggest coping mechanism you could find. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because I never was a good, like I said, I never was a good person who sits down and writes and creates. But now, I've been able to basically separate my ideas for this book. Like, writing a book and writing jokes are two different things to me, I've noticed, because it becomes easier when you basically say, okay, this is what I want to write about, and it doesn't have to be funny. And that's what I'm learning from writing a book. Like, I'm so used to thinking everything has to be funny, every single word. Where how I've been writing this book, I realized that sometimes I don't have to be. Like, it could be serious, it can be deep, it could be just a play on words. So that's what I'm learning now. So that's part of being creative. It's totally different from writing jokes to me. I don't have to be funny every single time. And it's just, as long as it's catching your attention and being something that you want to read, I think it works.
Well, I'm excited for you. And I'm
I'm just
for
trying,
you.
man.
I can't wait for this book to be finished and comes out. I'm excited for you.
Yeah,
Like
I just wanted to add, I didn't want to come out of this quarantine not having, but actually, I'm not even front. It wasn't even my idea. Another comedian gave me the idea by the name of Katrina Pope. Have you ever heard of her before?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she gave me the idea from, I used to post stuff about my dad, and she was like, yo, that stuff is always, she used to always say, this shit is funny, it's funny, it's funny. You need to find a way to monopolize off of that.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought about it, and it turned into me. She was like, just because usually what I do is I put out the text messages that me and my dad have. We have a very good banter back and forth through text message. And she was like, you should just put those in a book and then like put it out for people to look at. And then it went from that to, well, let me add some context to why we conversate like this. Mm-hmm. Then it turned into, well, I was a single, my dad raised me by himself. Let me tell that story. Then it turned into stories that my dad had with his encounters with women, and it just turned into a book. So
I'm excited. Like I said,
it's going to be good. I'm actually proud of it. I'm actually proud of the progress, where it's going, and I'm always enjoy the process of something. I've been looking up how to write a book, the process of getting it published and all that. So I'm more intrigued by that. It feel like the first time I put out my comedy album, Comedy Hustle Live, like, I was intrigued by the whole process of recording it, editing it, the layout for the cover. So now it's like all that back again, just something totally different outside of comedy. So I'm excited about it.
I can't wait. I know it's gonna be good. One, because it comes from the heart, comes from a very real place. And so that is always good when people are reading. A lot of people who read like to be able to connect and like to be able to almost feel like, you can watch this story, see this story. And when we're telling stories of our personal lives, that's most of the time when you get that the most. What I mean? It makes things so relatable. So I'm definitely happy for you. And I'm happy for you, one, because you found a new passion, but just being able to take what's going on and not make it into something that drags you down. And you took what's going on, which was definitely hard, but look at how you're going to come out of it, and look at what you've created in the midst of it. You know what I mean? So kudos to you, and really to all the other comedians who are doing something different for the first time, or following a passion that they had for the first time, and it's like, you know what I mean? It's almost like a release, so to speak.
Yeah, and I heard a lot of chicks read books, so
yes, chicks do read books. So your book signings.
Let's do this.
Your book signing is about to be lit. But hold up, new bitches, he will be making you wait for it. Okay.
Exactly. You gotta work. You gotta work for this dick. You ain't just gonna get it. You gotta put that. You gotta put in 60 days.
Corona ain't getting you over there. Bitches ain't nothing
No,
over there.
you
Okay.
gotta put in. You gotta put your 60 days in. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. 60 days. You
I
know, do
did.
some
I am doing a
contracts.
project. I am doing a project from my relationship hour. I got a project that I'm also in the process of doing because one of my topics was the 90-day rule,
Mm-hmm.
where we had women saying that they wasn't gonna give up any cookie for 90 days, and then I saw a meme that was like going around, and I decided to talk about it, where it was saying that, okay, well, if you don't want to give us any for 90 days, we can't spend any money on you for 90 days. It was a big conversation. It was like a lot of tweaks and turns. So what I decided to do was I was going to do 30 dates in 60 days without spending any money, and we're going to film it. So we'll see how that works. I don't
That's
know if I'm gonna do
interesting.
30. Yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna do 30 dates with 30 different women or one 30 times. I'm not sure, but we just got to figure it out. Because when I was doing it, an actual camera guy was on and we talked about it. And he was like, yeah, man, let's get everything together. So that's like the first project that we're going to film or try to film and just put it out there. Like do a date every day that requires no money. So it's 30 days, 30 dates in 60 days with
Can I
not
tell
spending a
you
dime.
though that that is a whole book by itself? How to
Mm,
have 30 dates without any money.
mm.
That's a book by itself.
It's
Just
actually hard now because we've been
wow.
talking about it. We came up, yeah, it's very hard. We came up with about so far. I think we got like 11 planned dates with spending no money, and it's very hard because we had to incorporate, like gas. We had to incorporate like food. It's a lot. It's not as easy as people think.
It's
It's
like
it's very
you have
it's
a
a
bike
lot.
ride to the zoo. Is that one of them? That's my
No,
shit.
we do have a bike ride. We do have a bike ride as one.
Let me tell
We
you,
have a bike
I
ride as
want to go to
one.
the zoo.
We got roller skating is one. What other dates we had on the list? It was a bunch. Go to the dog park. Like we had a bunch of them. Like it's not as easy as it
Right,
seems though. It's
right.
not.
Most
But
definitely.
I'm looking forward to doing that also.
Most definitely. So, sex can often be not cloudy itself, but kind of slide up these blinders. You know what I mean? Sometimes when you have sex too soon, you miss some of the shit, some of these red flags and things of that nature when you're dealing with a person, or you choose to ignore stuff because now you entered into, different levels of intimacy. So,
Hmm.
um, a good friend of mine asked me before, when you take away the money and take away the sex, then what do you bring to the table that no other woman can bring, or vice versa, no other man can bring? And so that's a big question to answer. But I feel like your process will start to answer that question. If
Yeah,
not
that's a good
men
way to
being
look
on the
at it.
receiving end, but for definitely for the woman. Like you gotta
But
know, you know,
that's a good way to look at it. But I'm a firm believer on getting it over with in the beginning. Get it over with. Just find out because you don't want to waste time, and then you get it and you're like, oh god, like get it over with. Because I think that's very important. I don't think you can function without it. I don't think you can have a functioning relationship where that part is not good. So get it over with. See what they're working with. See what you're working with, and then okay, go from there. I'm a firm. That's just my belief. Because
but
I
see,
feel that.
okay, but let's say you do get it over with. You get it over with that first time, but how much time for you to get it right? Because it's one thing to get it done, it's a whole nother to get it right.
Yeah, that is true, but you can find out what you're dealing with and if it's workable to get right. Some of them is just it's not to that point. You know right there, no, this ain't no getting this right. Like you is horrible. This is not gonna work out ever. So and then if it's someone you be like, you know what, I can work with this. Like this is workable. And then there's someone he just knock it out the park on the first bat. And you're like, okay, we gotta work this out because this is what I'm talking about right here. So yeah, I've always been a firm believer in just I'm not saying that you just see a person and say pull your dick out. No, I mean like, but you see that
And you want us
person,
to be
and if
nicer about it.
yeah, just get it out the way and then work towards the other stuff first.
So have you had to end relationships before for bad sex?
Um, no, because I've only been in one relationship, but I've stopped talking to people because of it. Like I've stopped talking to people because certain things I wasn't comfortable with doing it or smells. So yeah, I've had two, I think, in my sex career, and I had to stop. It definitely was that, but nah, because guys are a lot more easy. Like we'll put up with more shit than women will. Like guys will put up with certain things. Like that's the funny thing about it. I think guys will put up with bad sex if they really really like the girl.
Wow.
They were like, you know what, she cool. I can deal with her. I really really like her. Or if they living with her or some shit like that. But and towards women, I think they're more keen to be what's the word I want to use, to fade out. If they're not being pleased, they're more keen
Mm-hmm.
to drift, not to cheat, but just to lose that connection with
Mm-hmm.
the guy. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? After that, after it's not to the point that they want it to be.
Okay. Okay, Lawrence done came through here and worked ourselves with a little bit of knowledge, folks.
Hey man, I try, man. I mean, I might not look as smart as I am, but I definitely am.
Gotcha.
And
Gotcha.
as
I
soon
would
as I
neither
get out of
confirm nor deny that statement.
this, as soon as I get out of this quarantine and get a cut, I'll be back to my sexy self.
Oh, listen, it's people getting shape ups around here. It's
Yeah,
people
I
getting it
ain't taking
together out here in these streets. I'm
I
like,
ain't taking too much of it.
I understand though. But thank you so much for being a part of my Corona Chronicles show. This has
No
been
problem. Thank you
good.
for having me, man. I appreciate it.
So tell everybody how they can follow you so they can catch up on your relationship hour. Like you have a powerhouse all week this week. Tell everybody how
Got
they
you.
can.
Always you can follow me on Instagram, Lawrence C3H. That's LAWRENC 3H, and I do my relationship hour every single day from Monday to Friday, 9 p.m. to 10 o'clock Eastern time. I have a different guest every single day, from people from Wild and Out, people from movies, TV shows, Comedy Central, and we just sit there and talk about different relationships. It's not a comedy show. I want to make that clear. A lot of people feel it's a comedy show. It's not a comedy show. It's just two people having intelligent conversations. It could be funny. Sometimes they can get heated. Conversations have got heated. Some have been funny. Some have been just straightforward conversation. And I do that every single day. And I'm trying. I'm going to continue it even after the quarantine is over. It might not be every day, but I definitely want to continue it because people have been enjoying it. You can catch I have two albums on iTunes: Comedy Hustle 1, Comedy Hustle Live Part 2. Both of them iTunes streaming, Spotify, any outlet that has digital music, you can catch the album there. And check out my merch store, the Comedy Hustle merch store at spreadshirt.com. I think that's everything right there. Yeah,
There you have
that's
it,
it.
folks. So again, thank you so much. I appreciate it.